Welcome to Web3 and Me, presented by FLOLiO. I'm your host, Jeremy Weber, joined as always by Dan Bondalog. And on today's show, we're going to be diving into OpenSea's claim that we are in for a long-term crypto winter, talk about the big run that CryptoPunks are experiencing right now, how that's going to impact the market. We have news from 10KTF, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Goblin Town. It seemed like it was a quiet week, but things have picked up the last few days. We're going to get into all of that. Please go ahead and start off by liking today's show. We really appreciate that. That means a lot. Subscribe to our channel. That also means a ton. And most importantly, head to FLOLiO.com. Link your NFT wallet so you can see your account valuation as that thing is starting to creep up a little bit. You don't even need to connect to your wallet. You can just copy and paste that address for security. And lastly, nothing we say today is financial advice. We're recapping the market. We're giving our opinions, but please do your own research before making any financial decisions. So, Dan, let's jump right into it. We saw yesterday OpenSea laid off 20% of its employees.
Yeah.
They are calling for a 5-year crypto winter. What are your initial thoughts when you saw that story and you heard their claim about this crypto winter they think we're going into?
I mean, like, what do they know, right? It's a marketplace, but
Yeah.
the funniest thing is that LuxRare was in the comments, like, hiring people.
Yep.
It's so funny. They were just like they can like quote retweeted the tweeted themselves or something, or like link the tweets by themselves, and they're like, "We're hiring."
Yeah.
So I found that pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw their tweet that, they're hiring engineers and all sorts of stuff. Like they're ready to keep building, and it's mind-numbing to me the amount of money that OpenSea has pulled in and pulls in every month, and they're still having to lay people off. This as if like their site isn't constantly having issues. Like, it seemed like for a long time they had like a handful of employees, and they had the Nate Chastain issue with him getting fired for, insider trading essentially.
Uh-huh.
And it never seemed like they had enough employees, but now they're laying off 20%. And it makes me wonder how they've managed their money. Like, did they keep a lot of their money in ETH, or they move it to USDC? Like, how can a company who's had such a, meteoric rise in the last year feel the need to be, chopping heads? But, I'm not one of the people making those decisions.
I think that they might be legally required to pay out in USD. I know there's some legislation in some countries where you just straight up cannot pay people out in crypto. So maybe they kept it in USD, but also what I saw, like a funny comment about the 20% is they said, "Oh, they must have fired one out of their five employees."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, true.
This time last year, and into the fall, we saw all these articles about like how much money the founders had made, and they were billionaires now from this site. It's OpenSea keeps kind of stepping in it, and I don't think LuxRare is going to catch up to him anytime soon, but I sure as hell am cheering for him. I've been trying to list more stuff on LuxRare and do more shopping on LuxRare to try to support, a different marketplace.
Yeah, I should as well, but dare I say I'm lazy? I don't know. I'm just like, there's so many things wrong with OpenSea and stuff that just doesn't work, but still I'm just like, yeah, I'll list on OpenSea. I don't know. I guess it's habit, but
LuxRare makes it's just to remember. Like, LuxRare makes it pretty easy. Like they'll pull over, they'll show how much you have it listed for on OpenSea if you go to list there, so you don't need to like go back and forth, and you still get paid out. It's the Lux token is definitely gone down, but you still get paid out for listing. They still have the listing rewards, and they still have the trading rewards too. Like if you're buying and selling over there, you get a lower percent, on what they take for the marketplace fee, and you get paid back in tokens. So there's a lot of good reasons to keep using it. And I'm gonna try more and more to do that as the market picks back up. So I don't know. I'm not of the belief that we're going into a 5-year crypto winter. They are probably smarter than I am. I don't know, but we've seen that crypto is definitely much more front of mind in the financial world amongst people who aren't heavily into crypto, and that's one reason why I don't think that it's going to be 5 years of continuing to be down and moving sideways. Like I think it'll rebound before that. Yeah, I don't know if you have any different idea. Like I think that's a pretty worst case scenario kind of a thing.
Yeah, like I don't know much about the large scale economics and the crypto market as a whole.
Hmm.
But I think that from what I can see, it mostly just stems out of the fact that there's like a huge like energy, I don't know, energy war, dare I say. Like
Yeah.
it's like paying for electricity is so expensive, or gas is
Yep.
so expensive. Um, Most of this is because the tension, well, not tension, the war in Ukraine, and then the ties to Russia and then EU, for example.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's going to be solved within 5 years, and then market will respond. I don't know. I think 5 years, like crypto winters, maybe a bit much.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we are, we're heading into a recession over here in the U.S. I have to imagine it's the same in a lot of Europe, and with all the stuff going on there. We don't need to get too political here, but it definitely seems like it's going to be tough market conditions for crypto and the traditional finance world for a while. And I don't, at some point these silly JPEGs that we trade will go down in value, but I feel like we've built a pretty strong foundation of projects that are continuing to build, teams out there continuing to build, a lot of people who are very involved in the communities. Like, I think we're going to be okay long term.
Yeah,
I'm not hitting the panic button quite yet.
me too. I
So
think I think we're decent.
with the NFT market, and a solid indicator that things are healthy and getting ready to move up is the price action in CryptoPunks. And CryptoPunks are absolutely pumping right now. We've seen multiple sales this week of over $2.5 million. We saw
Yeah, crazy.
an ape punk sell on the 12th for 2.5 thousand Ethereum. That is the sixth largest CryptoPunk sale of all time, about 2.6 million at that, when ETH was at that price. And then we've also seen just a few hours ago a different Durag CryptoPunk sell for 2.69 thousand Ethereum, or about $3.3 million. We've also seen since that time a ton of more sales come in. And these are not just like little floor ones going. We have, I'm looking at a 200 punk sale, in ETH, a 219, a 161, a 169. We're seeing like both floor and more rare punks get bought up, and that is usually a sign that we're going to see a bit of trickle down, and we're also going to see these mid-tier projects potentially pick up steam. So I think that's worth talking about. Like, do you think that this is going to lead to a little bit of a market pump? And what projects are you looking at? I have a couple in mind. I'll let you go first, though.
I don't know if this is going to have like I don't think it's gonna impact other projects, or
Okay.
other than, well, we see that the Yuga projects have gone up a little bit, especially the cheap ones like Meebits, for example. I think they had like 200% increased volume, like 24 hours or something. But other than that, I don't think we're gonna see any like large scale like implication as a result from these sales.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still keeping my eye on some of these mid-tier projects like CloneX and Moonbirds. I think that is a place where if people are looking to take some ETH off the table, but move it a little bit back into the market. Like, if you sell a punk, I don't see a reason not to buy
Yeah.
possibly a Moonbird. Like, I think that there's a lot to come for that project still that isn't priced in to, the floor being around like 26 right now. And the same things for CloneX. Like, they've got down to like the mid sevens a month ago, but they've like recovered nicely into the 11 ETH range. And I think that there's still plenty to come from Artifact and Nike, who we know are going to be around for a while. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not too concerned about that. So I
Yeah.
think those would be the two projects that if I were looking to make some plays, which I kind of am, uh, I'd be focusing on that. And you talked about it with Meebits. We also saw a crazy run up in Bored Ape Kennel Club. Basically from when the show ended last Friday into Sunday, we saw the floor move from about 5.5 to 9.5. It was a pretty
Wow.
substantial run up, and so immediately people start accusing Yuga of insider trading and people having
Oh,
insider
here we go
information,
again.
being like, "Oh, there's going to be what the announcement's going to happen in a few hours." No announcement came about the kennel dogs. It was purely because, in my opinion, we see these ratios between bored
Yeah.
apes, mutant apes, and the kennel dogs. The apes to dog or apes to mutants usually hold like a 5-to-1 ratio for floor price. The apes to dogs, it's usually like a 15-to-1, and it got way out of whack, being like 20-to-1. So I do think that's part of it is people saw that ratio is off. But the bigger part there's still coming out, later this summer, the Mecha Dogs and a monetization plan for Bored Ape Kennel Club that way. And I think people will start to see that, like, hey, these are worth more than 5.5. They're going to have, staking bonuses when that rolls out through the ApeCoin DAO. They're going to get, some sort of mecha part that is going to be able to be monetized. So I don't think it was an insider trading thing. Call me a Yuga homer if you want. I don't care. I just think that people saw that, like, hey, these are mispriced in relation to what they're going to get us and other pieces of the Yuga ecosystem.
So would it be possible for them to be used as like pets in the other side?
That's what I'm not sure of. So we'll get into other side in a little bit. They've made it pretty clear that if you own an ape and a mutant, you're going to have like a 3D avatar in the other side of your ape and mutant. But they haven't said anything about dogs. I think that'd be really cool if you could log in and like you have your ape,
like a little pet.
and you got your little dog running around next to you. Like that would be going on adventures together on the other side. Yeah, I would. I think it'd be awesome if it was. So that's definitely a possibility too. So continuing to see other projects pumping. Pudgy Penguins. We've had Pudgy Penguin CEO Luca Netz on the show before. Great guy. Absolutely love his energy and what he's trying to do with the Pudgies. Talk about this one, Dan, because I saw some stuff about a toy, but other than that, I don't know why the floor has been ripping the way it has.
Yeah, so, we were talking about Pudgy Penguin's floor going up. We noticed that, the floor almost doubled in like 4 days. And we were like, interesting. So, we did some digging. And turns out, because, we're, at least, do you have a Pudgy?
I don't. I don't.
But
I'm looking at this price chart, and it's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's definitely wild.
Yeah, so talk about the toy a little bit. Like, did you dig into that much?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So, I don't have a Pudgy either, and that's why, we aren't really in the ecosystem, so, we weren't really aware. But they posted on Twitter that they are going to start their toy production with a toy manufacturer. So whatever that entails, I'm not too sure. Personally, I thought it was just going to be a plushie, but I guess, well, they use the word toy like often, and I guess like it's a plushie, a toy. But that's we will have to wait and see until they release some more info regarding that. But holders can like fill out a form, and then they might get their Pudgy licensed. So I assume that that brings in some money as a reward, right? So that's cool. And Luca has a lot of history in selling products to customers. So I assume he already has some ties to a like toy producer. So so yeah, I guess that's why they spiked.
Yeah, looking at their data on FLOLiO here, we see that the volume it was low on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and then it shot up, the 13th and 14th, and it's more than doubled, today alone what it did yesterday. We've seen an increase in the number, unique owners were flat. Wow. That started to pick up. It's pulled back just a little bit. And then, if we look at the floor price was flat, took a leg up, flat, and now it's continued to build, and it sits right around 2.35 after starting the week at 1.27. So definitely seeing a lot of growth there. So, whatever Luke is doing with the Pudgies tends to be working right now. So I think that's great.
Yeah, and like the Kansas is saying, hopefully better than an Alibaba offshore factory product. I agree. Let's hope they actually spend some money on it and don't go for the cheapest alternative. So,
yep, for sure. So let's talk about cheap alternatives for a second here. And this has been a point of contention on Twitter. We've seen in the last 24 hours that the holder of a couple Bored Apes has licensed them out to be on apparel at Old Navy and Aeropostale, or Postal, or however the hell you pronounce it. I'm too old to shop at that place, so I don't know how to say the name properly. The debate going back and forth has been, does this hurt or help the BAYC brand? So the people who are saying it hurts it, and I'm not really sure where to stand right now. I don't want to sound like a dick or anything, but those are not, the highest quality of stores. There's a reason their shirts sell for like $10 because they last like a month. And if BAYC wants to be known as, a higher end NFT brand, do we, this is a risk you run with people having the IP rights. It's like someone can be like, hey, I'm going to go license it make some money, and it may hurt the overall BAYC brand when it gets into this scale of consumers.
You know, what is called CC0, like what is it called, like not copyright, but like freedom of use, I guess. All right, like licensing.
Yeah,
I guess.
you have the IP for it.
Yeah, the IP. So, I mean, you can't really pick and choose, right? It has to be either everything or nothing. And I mean, I think it's fine personally, but
Yeah.
I do understand the sentiment around it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's their ape. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. And it's been funny. I've seen the loudest people against it I've seen online are like non-ape holders. So I'm just like, why do you care so much? Like, I don't. This doesn't affect you at all, but whatever.
It's yeah,
Uh,
it's interesting because I think it's like because they are in the NFT ecosystem as a whole,
mhm.
and then they might be like, like that they're looking up to someone and they're like, well, like BAYC can't do this, like that's a bad look for their brand. And that's definitely
Yeah,
interesting because they aren't
yeah,
even involved.
for sure. And like if people like this shirt and a bunch of people start wearing it, like it brings more awareness to NFTs. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna. Most people aren't gonna be able to come in and buy a Bored Ape right now. That's totally fine. But when you got people like Snoop and Eminem using it for music videos and stuff, that raises awareness. Like, let's get more people, understanding NFTs and involved in this whole marketplace.
And respect to the person who licensed it out.
Yep,
I respect the hustle, the grind.
that's that good for them. Like everyone talks about, oh, you get the full rights to this, and they're actually going out there and doing something with it. So, good on them right there for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
So we've seen the Goblin Town story continues to grow and evolve, and I no longer hold any of my Goblin Town assets, and I'm kind of regretting that right now because they are doing some really cool stuff. So they announced that the McGoblin burgers are finally coming into play, and it looks like there's going to be some sort of mechanic that is used by them to acquire a new NFT. It's called a Grumple. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this picture that Goblin Town posted on Twitter. So you can use multiple types of the burgers to attract the Grumple. So we got the Grumple trap research right here. Okay. So half the sheet is cut off. So we don't see what you actually get from this. We do see that if you have one burger, that's good. Two is better. Three better than that. And the very best option, it would appear, is there were like I think 10 one of ones that were randomly airdropped or randomly revealed with McGoblin Burger. And what we don't know is I have to imagine that having one automatically means you get a Grumple. I don't think that they would have it where like people spend a bunch of money on these and then they have a chance of getting $0 out of it. I don't think that's a good look.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, will it get you more Grumples or a better quality of Grumple or multiple of them? Because we've seen them do a lot of stuff with metadata around, like with the eggs, the metadata changed on that. Could it be one of those things where if you use, three burgers, do you get three Grumples or do you get one like super Grumple?
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would assume there's gonna be like a higher rarity, right?
And I think that's good because like everyone gets it. It keeps the collection size down. Like too many of
Mm.
these projects, like will try to do like, oh, everyone like Bored Apes did with Mutants. Everyone who owns one gets one, and there are going to be additional ones out there. And all of a sudden, this
Yeah,
collection is growing to huge sizes and kind of devalued. So, Dekenza asking about how this affects Goblin Town prices. That's a really good question. I don't think we know much about the Grumples. I would say that it's going to be probably comparable to the burgers. So like if you had, let's say the burgers are going for like 1.5 ETH right now. So maybe we see a floor of that for like the most common Grumple, and if it kind of matches our prediction of different tiers of rarity, maybe like multiples of that. So it could be like 1.5, 3, 5. I don't know how much the one of one burgers are going for now, but yeah, I think on the Goblin Town price, I think it should move up because they're clearly showing that they're building something pretty cool and they're putting a lot of thought into it. And I think you can't ignore that.
I think that the price you well to figure out what the price is going to be after this claim or this drop is, figure out how many people have bought a goblin purely for this drop, right? Um, if the sentiment is really good and people have barely bought it just for this, then you can see the price be fairly stable. But if people have primarily bought it for this, like this is the main point of why people were buying, you can see a lot of claiming and then dumping. Wouldn't
Well,
be surprised if it's gonna drop a bit, but
I don't know if you're going to even need a goblin though to catch a grumple
oh yeah, just a
necessarily.
burger, right?
Yeah, so if you just have a burger, so I don't even know if this is really going to like dump the
Oh
price
okay,
of,
yeah,
because people claimed their burger weeks ago. They've been for sale in the secondary market for a while now. So, I'm wondering if it's going to be one of those things similar to the mutant serums where it becomes kind of deflationary and we see the price of those burgers. Is this going to be a limited time kind of thing where you have like a week to use your burger, or is it going to be indefinite like the mutant serums, and then we see burger prices go up over time if the project is successful? Like there was a point last November where I picked up a couple of M2 mutant serums for like 6 ETH, and then months ago they were trading for like 60. So this could be another opportunity similar to that where you buy a burger, you sit on that for a while. If the project takes off, you have a deflationary asset that is going to increase in value over time.
yeah, true. I forgot that is you don't need the goblin. Well, at least I assume you don't need a goblin to claim this because like you can see here, it's just a trap in the burger.
Yeah.
How much a burger is going for right now?
Last I checked, I'll look at it for real quick. Last I checked, they were going for like 1.5, and I'm gonna pull up
Wow,
to I'm gonna pull up when the tweet was sent and then what. So right now it's 1.45. So this tweet was sent out on the 13th at 3:20 p.m. my time. So I want to look and see what the price did on the 13th. Where did it go? Like was it a quick you know shot up? What happened to number of unique owners actually went down? So I think because people were trying to buy multiple to get rare ones, that makes sense. We saw the floor price. Yeah, floor price jumped pretty noticeably that day from around 1.2 to 1.75.
I see.
So a pretty decent jump, like almost immediately. So I'll pull up the FLOLiO page. I think this is interesting. This is also a learning opportunity for everyone out there. So
So
we like to
so
try to
so
educate and entertain here, Dan.
definitely. So I assume the burger is going to be burned. Do we know?
I would say, yeah, burned or like eaten by the
Eaten,
grumple,
yeah.
right? So I think it'll be essentially a burn mechanism. But yeah, so this floor price, it basically was just a straight line up,
Yeah.
and it's remained pretty steady in that range. Volume definitely shot up. It's pulled back a bit, and then yeah, same thing. Like the number, you had people who were probably holding
Interesting.
one or two and immediately sniped a few off the market because they want to they want to max out and get that higher tier of grumple.
Yeah. I think that's what happened because you would expect that the unique owners would go up. But it seems to be just like, like holders trying to upgrade.
Yeah, I think that's the case, which I think speaks positively for a smaller supply and in turn a higher floor price. So back to, I guess, to wrap up to Ken's question, I think we're going to see goblins remain steady throughout this, and I think the grumples are going to come out the gate at probably about a 1.25 floor to 1.5 floor for the lowest tier. And if our prediction is right, that it's going to be more burgers equals a better level grumple. I say the top tier one is probably going to be around like 5 ETH. So that is just my napkin. Well, actually, I take that back. I don't think one. I don't know. Will a higher tier grumple trade for more than a floor goblin? And that's what I think you have to ask yourself:
Yeah,
is the grumple price capped by what the goblin price is?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
But I think that the most efficient one, the highest like value is going to be the single burger Because I think
Hmm.
we've seen this more often and often is that if this one burger equates to one grumple, and it's, let's say, the lower rarity grumple is going to sell for like 1 ETH, and then the second highest, like the middle one, like the two burger one, it's not going to be lowest one times two in floor. It's going to be usually a little bit lower than that, so like 1.8 times or something. So that's interesting. So I wonder, maybe the play, if you have three, maybe the play is, split it like 3 times over different accounts and mint three lower rarity ones. Maybe that's the play, because we've seen this with Aku. If you had, was it 3 unique chapters, and then I think if you
I think it
minted,
was four.
was
You
it
got
four?
like the
The one
OG
OG.
one. Well, and we
Yeah.
all, it depends on what you really want out of it. I think like if you're looking to make quick flips and turn a quick profit, you probably just want the single burger one because those are going to be the most liquid and have, the
Mm.
highest amount of trading volume. If you're in it for the long haul and you want the rare, a higher tier of rarity and you're okay sitting on that for a while because you want the highest, total ETH upside, it's probably better to go with multiple burgers in one trap. I still can't believe that I'm spending, a good chunk of my life talking about Grumples and McGoblin
And
burgers, but here
burgers.
we are.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But you know what,
But
Dan? I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
exactly. But I still think that perhaps the play is to split it over different wallets, get the lowest rarity ones. Because what I wanted to mention is that with the Alquitar, the middle rarity one wasn't worth that much more than the floor Aku. And if you had multiple floor Akus, you would have had so much more ETH. Yeah, ETH. So maybe that's the play, but who knows?
Could be. Definitely
Time will
could
tell.
be. Yeah. I want to see real quick. I'm just pulling it up on my end. So we have like these one of ones, which are really weird looking.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
not
they?
going to pull up on the screen because it's fairly not suitable for work. But I mean, the floor, I don't know if any of them are even listed for sale. I want to say one of them is, and it's for 100 ETH. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be selling anytime soon. That'd be pretty wild if it did. Yeah, we have one of the one of ones listed for 100 ETH, and it was actually sold for 35. It was bought for 35 a month ago. So there is some liquidity, for these higher tier McGoblin burgers.
But 35 seems like a good buy, right? Think so. You think about it.
I mean, yeah, like if the person who got it airdrop, like it looks like they accepted a 35 wrapped ETH offer. Like that's awesome for them. Like free 35 ETH, and then the person who bought it clearly making a big bet on Goblin Town. So I'd say it's probably a win for everybody in that situation.
Yeah, except for the person who's gonna buy it afterwards for 100 ETH, and then he's like, ah, shit. But that's their own mistake.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So interested in this. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we will definitely keep you posted on it. We have a few more things to touch on. So have you been paying attention to 10 KTF and everything they're doing?
I used to. I used to. I had some 10 KTF stuff, and then I sold everything, and I was like, goodbye. And now I just ignore everything that they're doing.
Like a bad breakup, you just delete
Yeah.
all the information, unfriend them on Facebook, unfollow them on Instagram, so you don't
Very
see anything
accurate.
anymore. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I also sold my 10 KTF stuff, but I've been paying attention to it because I just can't, help myself.
Hmm.
There, I am deeply regretting selling when I did because there's so much cool. They're doing some really cool stuff. They recently, I would head to their Twitter page, Wagmi-san's Twitter page. The lore they're building is second to no one in NFTs.
Hmm.
They have like this whole storyline with, the toads who are coming after them and trying to fight back and save New Tokyo. They had the collaboration with Gucci, and in their most recent trailer yesterday, they showed like some sort of huge mech that is fighting the kaiju in the trailer. So if you haven't seen the video yet, we're not going to play it here, but head over to their Twitter page. We'll add it into the comments here in a second because it's really worth checking out, in my opinion. I think that they're making some awesome stuff.
Yeah, and they're still collaborating with Wolfgame, but I swear that they've just like completely forgotten about them.
Yeah, like what all was going on with Wolfgame?
Well, they were there inside Neo Tokyo, for
Okay.
example.
Yeah, I mean they've. I didn't see in the trailer if they showed Wolfgame or not. Like, but you should go ahead and watch it, Dan, and tell me what you
Yeah, I
think.
should.
It's pretty cool. So we got 10 KTF. We'll keep you posted on that. Also, tomorrow is a big day. Other side first voyage is happening. I plan on jumping in on that. It starts at noon Eastern. From what I can tell, this is part of the process where if you participate in the testing, you'll be rewarded in the future with potential free other deed lands. So I think that alone makes it worth how a couple hours investing into that. Um, Told my wife I was going to be doing that tomorrow, and she was like, okay. Like she was. I think she's gotten used to my NFT shenanigans at this point, so I appreciate the hell out of her for that. So, Dan, do you have any intention on jumping in on that? I don't know if you need an other deed or not, but
I think you need one, but a friend of mine, he mentioned that the wording on the website changed to like holders of other deeds can mint one whenever the new one drops, essentially. So I think, at least according to him, they changed the wording of like help testing and blah 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 to be able to mint one next. So it seems like you can just mint one if you hold one.
okay.
But of course, testing is still really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna test it. I'm probably gonna record, and I'll talk about it, and we can show a little bit if there's any cool parts of it. It's I'm interested to see how this affects ApeCoin price, other deed
Yeah.
price. Obviously, like I think other deed price action is going to be tied very closely to the quality of it. If
Mm.
if it's glitchy and lagging and just a bad experience, expect everything Board Ape Yacht Club related and other
Yeah.
deed to go down. If it knocks people's socks off, I don't know if it's going to have a huge push up. Like I think other deeds are pretty much capped in the 3 to 3.5 ETH
Yeah.
range. But I could see ApeCoin going back up. It's been hanging out in the mid $4 range. It was after the first test. I remember, they did this like load test. ApeCoin went up to like almost $5.50 after that because it was very well received. If an actual playable demo goes well, I could see the price of ApeCoin going into the sixes potentially. I could see it going on a really nice run.
Yeah. So do we know if this is on your? No, this is just in like a generic map of the other side, right? This is not gonna be your own land.
As far as I know, they haven't really put out. That's the thing; they haven't put too many details out yet.
Yeah.
Um, I think that there's going to be like the 3D avatars maybe of your ape or mutant if you own one of those, which is really cool. So we'll have to see. I'm expecting a tweet from the other side Twitter account this afternoon. That's usually how they do it, like the night 5 p.m. Eastern or something, or 7 p.m. Eastern. They put out a tweet and it sends Twitter crazy, and we'll get more information about 12 hours before, kind of a thing. So yeah, we'll keep you posted. Follow us on Twitter. We'll put more updates out on that. But I'm excited to try it out yesterday, and a little nervous on what it's going to do to the value of these assets.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder.
Yep, I do too. We'll see. Lastly, speaking of the value of assets, we're getting a little bit of news around a possible liquidation of Three Arrows Capital and their NFT portfolio. So, for those who don't know, 3AC basically is insolvent at this point. They had started an NFT fund with a well-known collector named Vincent Van Doe called Starry Night Capital, and they have a wallet that consists of a lot of really high-end NFT generative art. I want to say they have like 31 Fidenzas,
Wow.
about a dozen ringers. They have a bunch of Chromie Squiggles. They have a bunch of CryptoPunks, some other like blocks that were trading in the 30 to 50 ETH range that I actually had never heard of. So, I'm really interested to see, is this going to be one big sale like from an auction house of the entire portfolio, or are they going to auction things off individually?
They
And
should
what
auction it off, right? Like, because
the whole
if
thing at
they're,
once or individually?
I can see it happen all at once.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe individually is a little bit better or easier, I guess. It's hard to find a buyer for everything combined, right? But
Dikenzas, I think this is a terrible idea, and
raffle it off.
it would bomb.
Yeah,
Like I think it's a great idea for whoever wins it, but it would pull a lot of liquidity, and I'm guessing there's a high probability that the winner of that would just bomb the floor of those projects, and the current holders would not be too pleased. Because if I suddenly had 31 Fidenzas, you can sure as shit, and I won them for half an ETH. You can sure as shit bet I'm gonna accept the first wrapped ETH offer on all of them.
yeah, but that's the thing, right?
It was all fake money anyway. Oh, Dikenzas just coming out swinging today.
If they have to liquidate everything, what if they just take what if they just like take all the offers, just the highest offer on anything? They're like, okay.
I guess. I mean, I wonder how this is going to work, because this story. There's going to be a movie about this someday. Like, no one can get a hold of the two guys who ran 3AC. Like, I saw a recent report this week. Like, people just don't know where they are. They've gone off the grid. Maybe they're on the lam. I'm not sure. I'm not going to speculate on that. But like, how are they going to get the seed phrase or the keys to this, MetaMask wallet that is holding? I'm assuming like the ledger and everything, or whatever like safety protocols they have. How are they going to get a hold of all these assets to auction them off or to sell them? Are they going to get a court? Like, that's going to be kind of unprecedented. Like, do they have to get a court order to?
Yeah. What if?
Like, is MetaMask or whoever's holding, whatever they're using, whatever wallet they're using, like Ledger or whoever, able to, open up a wallet on a court order? Like, I think
that's the big question, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if the court decides, well, you have to hand it over, right? And then they decline, and then they go to MetaMask, right? Because it's held in MetaMask, and then they go like, hey, they're kind of required to send it, so
and then if they have a Ledger or a Trezor or one of the other things, like, they're gonna have to go to them as well and be like, hey, you need to unlock this. That's gonna set a crazy precedent, I think. And between this and the Bored Ape like Ryder Rips lawsuit, I think we're gonna see a lot of really interesting things happen.
I see it happening.
Where did they hold an internal pump, which is Frankfurt?
Oh, they hold a rapture.
They have a rapture?
Wow.
I gotta, because Dan and I have talked about. Yeah, Dan and I have talked about rapture on here before. I don't see a rapture in this wallet. Internal pump. Pull that up. I don't see anything called that either. So this may be fake news to Kansas. Might be fake news. We don't do fake news on this show.
But do they hold a Dikenzas?
Oh God, Dikenzas.
I don't think they do. So
I don't want to. Mine is sitting snugly in my wallet, so I don't want to get rid of my Dikenza. But I would love to see that at like a Christie's auction. Next up,
also a Dikenza.
After our 31 Dikenzas, we have a Dikenza.
They're like, huh? What is this? This wasn't included. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Okay,
but
so it's gonna impact the art blocks market to some extent, right? Like whether they auction it off or if they have an auction through OpenSea and just set a reserve on them, because they have some really rare ones too. Like, these are not just floor Fidenzas. Like, they have some that they paid 230, 300 ETH for. Back last year when ETH was considerably higher. Yeah. So I'm very, very interested to know. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna keep vamping for a second here. I want to see if I can load this wallet into FLOLiO and
estimate the holding.
And see what the holdings are.
I don't think we have trade floor yet for art blocks yet, right? Maybe we should get that sorted.
Ooh, okay,
I
that's a
think that's
good
pretty
call.
cool. Yeah, trade for art blocks. I think that's a pretty good addition
I mean, we
to the
do
website.
have the art blocks curated collection as part like on the FLOLiO site.
Yeah,
We just need to make sure that we can see how much the fidenzas and the ringers and everything are. So okay. I think that that all covers it for today, Dan. Anything else you want to recap from the week?
nothing that comes to mind. But honestly, like now I'm pretty like quote unquote excited about a potential like court order to like hand over the NFTs. I can see it happening, and it's gonna be nasty, dude. Oh my,
I mean,
imagine.
this is going to be like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard 2.0, right? Like it's going
Yeah,
to take
yeah.
the internet by storm, and then we're
God,
gonna,
not all the
we'll have
comments.
Yuga versus Ryder Rips as well. Like it's going to be a wild time.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, watch the other episodes we put out this week. I had an interview with the team or one of the members of the CyberFizz team yesterday. That was really cool. They're going to be minting their project soon. I love what they're building over there. So watch that. Then earlier in the week, Dan and I put out a video of our top 10 projects we are focusing on for the back half of this year. So watch that one as well. Some good info in that. So on that note, once again, please like the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to our channel. Go to FLOLiO.com. Check out all of your assets and use our browser extension because it is free and it is top of the line. So for Dan, for the entire team at FLOLiO, for our buddy DeKenza's, cheers, buddy. I am Jeremy. We will see you next time. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye bye.